colocation, hyperscale, cloud innovation, and next-gen AI factories. Today we've got a very interesting panel over here. We've got Mr. Syed, who runs one of the most successful development company and construction company focused on data centers. Comes with very rich experience building data centers across the country, across data center operator platforms. We have Mr. Amit Agrawal, who comes with a very rich experience through his days at OEMs like Dell, working with as the chief business officer at Toyota and Iron Mountain, and now he's the president at Techno data centers, and which is one of the large scaling data center operator platform in Chennai, Calcutta, and 104 cities where they are building the edge data centers. We have Durgesh. Durgesh is the CFO for Iron Mountain data centers in India, and comes with a history of working in the telecom industry. He used to be with Airtel for a long time before this. And then we have our in-house entrepreneur and big energy for this group, Mr. Narendra Sen, who's been on this journey to build AI data center factories and is building AI data center factories right now in Pandey, in Mumbai, in Raipur, and in Indore. So thank you so much, Narendra, for coming in and joining us today's session. Say, sir, I'll start with you. Now, sir, how do you differentiate between high density colocation, AI factory? What is the difference and what are these? I mean, can you break it down for us, because you are building both AI factories, high density data centers for a lot of the customers. Can you give and what is the business model around this for our team here?
Yeah, good morning, friends. I am not really a technical person. We are the infrastructure developer. And having said, I must tell you the first data center for the hypermarket in Hyperscale was built by us for entity in Mohamed, both for Google and AWS. Incidentally, the first liquid cooling is also built by us for PhonePe in Mohamed, Mumbai. And Microsoft's first data center in India is also built by us in Hyderabad. Okay, what we started with 2 or 3 kilowatts of power, today we are talking of 20 to 80 to 100 and 300. Our first data center in Bangalore, what we built for entity, the total capacity of the data center, 300,000 square foot of the built area, just 10 megawatts of power. Now we are designing one data center where per floor capacity is 12 megawatts. So data center is really, coming in a very big way, and the fact is how it is going to sustain, because a lot of jargons are happening, and nobody is talking about megawatts today. Everybody is talking about gigawatts. You name it, they say gigawatts. If somebody talks about megawatts, they don't even look at us. So he's a old school of thought. So I don't know where it's going to end, but then we need to really raise the bar. The technical, the design, the value engineering, all that is very important. Every stakeholder should work together in a collaborative manner, and that is where we can really make it big. Because when I heard from the standard lady, she said the global data India produces is 20%, and what we the infrastructure what we have is just 3%. So sky is really not the limit, but we need to work towards that.
Yeah. Thank you, Syed, sir. Amit, I'll come to you. Your organization is a representative of Made in India, and you're 100% Indian-owned organization. Can you build on the whole India stack and the AI story, and what is the opportunity for India over here from an AI perspective, especially in the digital infrastructure space? Would you like to build on that?
So I'll just take privilege of just adding on to what Mr. Beary said in terms of differentiating between AI factories and the high density data centers, and then come to this particular topic. Basically, what we saw that data center always followed the law of compute. So in compute, it is always that every year the compute increases efficiency by 30%. So you get more power in terms of the CPUs, in terms of the compute capacity. And GPUs, completely disturb the growth which was envisaged from the CPU perspective. So that was the whole difference when we were talking about high density data centers. More compute was coming, more dense compute was coming, but immediately when we started talking about AI, this changed the equation, and now we are talking about a different scale of densities within the data center. And that's the reason why we are talking about specialized cooling. We are talking about the power availability at different locations rather than looking at the location and then getting the power over there. So that's predominantly the difference between AI factory and a high density data center. As far as the question in terms of Indianization,
India stack.
India stack. See, there are certain components that we are still dependent on the Western world in terms of to complete the stack. We have come a long way. I think the semiconductor industry took its own time to initiate its program in India. Now that we have started the program, we have come out with the first step. We are talking about upgrading the technology quicker, but still it's a long chase from where the overall semiconductor industry has moved. It will take us time to develop our own GPUs, but the kind of usage that I'm seeing in terms of using this technology is far more better than anywhere in the world. Yesterday, I was in one of the conferences of gaming developers, and the kind of development that is happening in online gaming is tremendous. We have, I think, the best developers here in India. If we talk about animation industry, if we talk about virtual effect industry, if we talk about any AI use case that we want to see, I think we have a lot of data available, and now we have started our vision in terms of developing our own language models. So that was also one of the challenges that we had. So we are developing our language models, we are training our language models, and we'll start utilizing it by using more inferencing, which will be distributed in the edges. But from use case perspective, we are there. There's still a dependency in terms of the electronics that we need. Otherwise, as far as India stack is concerned, we are quite ahead in the curve from the overall global perspective.
Thanks a lot, Amit. We're going to come to the finance guy now. Durgesh, we really want your view. Amit gave a pretty good understanding on the high performance compute and the GPU dense workload, which is really coming up a lot now. How are you, when your business teams are coming to you for approvals, how are you looking at ROI on these investments around these innovative technologies? Can you throw a little bit of light around that as well?
Thanks, Rachit, and thanks W.Media for inviting me on this very topic and giving my perspective on the finance side. So look, I've always been of view like the denser the data center, the better the ROI. So that's always my view whenever I do a business case, look at it from a business case perspective. And with liquid cooling coming in, high dense environment coming in, I think the ROI is only going to improve. So there are two facts to it. One is that your PU is going to reduce. So it's basically you are investing in capex, but your OPEX is going to reduce. So capex is basically one time, but OPEX reduction is over a period of time, right? So, in general, when you put an equipment, it has an economic life of 15, 20 years, depending on the type of equipment you are putting and what you are buying. So that gives a very good hedge around 1.5, 1.6. Earlier people used to talk about 1.7, but now it has gone to 1.5, 1.6. But with B2C coming in, probably what I understand from a technical perspective is that you can go down as much as 1.2. And with entire immersive liquid cooling coming in, so the entire IT equipment does not require any cooling. It's only that the network fabric which is there will give your PU will go to 1.05. So it's a massive reduction in PU and it will be over the period of time. So that's given a very good benefit in terms of the capex investment versus the opex that you get. Other part is that the overall capex investment increases by around 20-25%, but you see the quantity. Let's say if you're creating 100 megawatt, in the traditional model you have around, if you're 1.6, so you have to create 160. But now if you're 100 megawatt IT, you tend to create 120 megawatts. So overall capex is reducing. The per unit cost is increasing, but overall the capex is reducing by 30%. So you have a better benefit there also. So denser the environment, the better the ROI will only improve, the IRR will improve. Looking from a customer side, like Hyperscale or any from AI training or inferencing modeling, so people are, if they want to be in India, as you say, India is a huge country, the population is there, and the usage, as Amit and Beary told, it's very high in India. You can always take benefit of that, right? The usage is high, the customers for us, let's say Hyperscale, scale customer enterprise, or any AI new cloud customers, they will come. And they are also already, they are okay to pay what you're asking, like some liquid cooling is taking one time, let's say you're spending 20, 30 crores, 40 crores per megawatt, they are okay to take part of that. So that is one thing. The other part is the sustainability is very important, right? I want to add it here because sustainability is now ingrained. What is sustainability all about? Like you have to reduce the power what you're using and use a clean power. So with high density environment coming in and more efficient GPUs and the fabric which is there coming in, you have the sustainability goals which are ingrained in your overall capex plan. So that also improves, right? So I think we look it from the overall perspective rather than looking just from a cost control, because we have to manage the financial aggression of course, but we have to balance it with the business aim, right? And the market environment also. So I think that's how we take a view on this changing environment. Not fully there, but yeah, we are trying.
No, 100%. You are on the forefront of making those investments, and many congratulations on completing your recent acquisition of the Bearys platform. We are very confident about Ironman's growth in India going forward. With that, I'll come to the next investor, developer, data center operator over here. Narendra, tell us about, you talked about AI factories, we have talked about high density data centers, we talked about from a finance perspective how we are viewing investments, we are understanding from Syed sir on various aspects of the investment landscape over here. Can you go one layer deeper and talk a little bit about AI cloud and explain really what is happening over here, both on the domestic front, especially with whatever's happening around the India AI mission, and also what's happening on the international front and what is the opportunity for India over there with workloads coming into India. Can you take a stab at that?
Thank you, Rachit. AI is really changing the entire world and productivity index as we daily consume AI in day-to-day life. I'll give you a context in US, what is happening there, and same, I think, followed by India and other countries. So US currently 100 plus gigawatt of deployment has planned by all 4 big hyperscalers plus 4 another AI hyperscalers plus 2 social media companies. And this 100 gigawatt required grid connectivity. The power is really crunch in US. And it will take their own time to set up the grid and everything. So 100 gigawatt means what for US and what for India. So opportunity for us is like I believe Elon Musk is building super fast. They are building data center in 6 months. When they outsource to some agency, and agency says, oh no, we cannot build, we can build in 12 months. He scrapped that plan and started building their own. Because AI is moving super fast. It's all about speed. because the growth of AI and their consumers are really paying XAI platform. If I give an example, they have got a paid user. They are creating a videos, they are creating a text to audio and all those application usage. So now the supply chain is biggest crunch. And this is opportunity for Indian manufacturer, operator, developer, everyone, that I believe that 20% is India market share in the global data consumption. So it is not 20 gigawatt will come to India, but if we discount it 50% for another 5-7 years, so 10 gigawatt should be part of India, given our billion users, population, and more than a billion per billion is on internet. So 10 gigawatt required around $50 billion of investment in data center, if I consider $5 million per megawatt. And that supply chain opportunity we all have today for the country, and you have to be geared up, ready with a plug-in-play solution, data center in a box, battery in a box, all those kind of things that you can create a Lego box and connect each and every component is build a data center faster. We are building AI factories in the location which Rachit mentioned, that Indore, Raipur, because these are more sustainable location in terms of the power, because it's no more fiber-driven business. It's a power-driven. Wherever the power is available and cheap, and grid is, availability is there, we are building data center there. Next to the substation, 440 kV, 220 kV, so we don't need to spend money today. And we are thinking beyond that as well. Coming back to the India opportunity, India AI has done fantastic job to enable, because we can't go and buy, say, 10 to 15 billion dollar chips without customer. It's like chicken and egg problem. So they democratize it. They have given a subsidy that, okay, I will give you $2 billion. You put $2 billion from the industry, total $4 billion opportunities right now available with the India AI. And India is going to consume like training versus inferencing. Inferencing will consume 10x more compute than the training. So India is a consumer market for inferencing. And that's a big opportunity we have in front of us. And another 2 years, I believe that another 4 gigawatts, like two is one Adani has announced, another Google has announced 1 gigawatt, and Adani might be announced soon. And 2 gigawatt, so 5 gigawatt opportunity for 3-4 years we have as a ecosystem. And that's where we have to work. Like CDU is another opportunity. You have to go and manufacture the CDU. Mega supply chain, biggest constraint for liquid cooling is the CDU. Then the dry cooler. Dry cooler is biggest long lead item right now. So I think that's where the opportunity is. And I think we are alone. We are building 300 megawatt in modular way in all 3 sites, 100 megawatt each. So whenever the customer needs, because AI demand is also different from the general purpose demand. General purpose customer go and buy 100 megawatt or 10 megawatt or 1 megawatt, but it will take a year to consume that till the CPUs into it. But GPU work in cluster. GPU work as a whole as a power. 1000 GPU, 4000 GPU cluster, 8000 GPU cluster, and 16,000 GPU cluster. And when I talk about 4000 GPU cluster, the chip investment is like $300 million. If it is 8,000 GPU cluster, 600 million. If it is 16,000, 1.2 billion for chips all out. And the data center separately, like it required a huge capex on that as well. So opportunity is there, Rachit, I believe, and it's a good time. Last year we spoke about AI in this conference. Nobody was aware that this is going to happen. But now we can see that the announcement and the people are doing on the ground.
Last year one more thing happened. I was watching online and there was this Narendra Modi session with Indore entrepreneurs, which was there, which went viral when Narendra Modi called upon you saying Narendra calling Narendra. That was quite a landmark moment for all of us to see you over there with Mr. Modi. So, thank you so much for these inputs. I'm very conscious of the time, but just building on from what Narendra mentioned, Syed sir, I'll come back to you. Narendra mentioned that for AI factories and AI cloud, this is going into more, in tier 2 cities, new frontiers. We saw this huge investment for Google, right? Which was Sundar Pichai announced it, $15 billion going into Vizag. What is happening around getting this distributed and larger announcements? would you like to add a little bit of a view on that?
You see, I personally believe in India first. I don't believe in this Maharashtra first and Tamil Nadu first or Telangana first. Because ultimately, every state's effort should contribute for India first. That is what the whole world is looking at us. That is what we need to do. India got more than 2,000 running kilometers of coastal line. After realizing the potential of Vizag, we're going to start in south of Maharashtra, like Ratnagiri and other areas. The Goa, our Mangalore, I'm from Mangalore. Our Mangalore area, the Kochi, and the Bhubaneswar, all these areas, we need to decentralize, the data center development. Only then the power and all of the infra can be matched. So this is my, my take on this.
Absolutely, and infra projects like the Sagarmala project or the, which are going to be connecting the entire coastal parts of India are going to be absolutely key towards building infrastructure over here. My last question, I'm conscious that we have last 2 minutes left over here. My last question for the whole group over here, and Narendra, if we can start from you this time. In one sentence, what is the one thing that you are worried about? If, let's say, what gives you the chills at night, what are you worried about for our industry and for AI infrastructure build going forward? What keeps you up at night? One thing, and that is a question for everybody. Narendra, if you can take the first step.
I think policy is the biggest, because the relationship with the US, I think we have to be moderate.
Policy at India level or US
So
policy?
following the global, India should be moderate.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have chips, whatever we are talking, it's useless.
Great. So that is, so availability of chips and policy framework is your number one concern. Durgesh, what do you think?
Assuming Narendra brings in chips, so probably my day would be like balancing the overall financial thing with the business requirement, right? So I think that's the one sentence which I want to give a takeaway.
You're going to be holding back the person. No, but you are, of course, investing heavily in the platform. So, great. Amit?
So, like what Durgesh said, working on the fundamentals. That if we have the chips, if we have the infrastructure available, there has to be use cases driven valuation that needs to be there. There's too much money flowing in, which may inflate the whole ecosystem and create sort of bubble.
So valuation keeps you worried at night? Or overvaluation?
Overvaluation.
Sir.
Well, you have to give me 3 sentences, not 1 sentence, because I'm a solution-centric guy. I believe individual commitment, collaborative effort, and collective leadership that will take DC development to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the entire public over here. Thank you so much. Thank you. Next.